You finally convince your boss to move the company's servers to the cloud. Applause everywhere. The IT team is celebrated like Avengers. But 2 days later, someone in the office screams, "Hey, I can't connect to the server." Now everyone's staring at you like you just unplugged the internet. That, my friend, is where Azure's network security group comes in. The bodyguards of your virtual machines. And today, I'll show you why they matter and what you should do if you find yourself in this exact situation. Alright, so let's make this simple. Think of an NSG like the bouncer at a club. Not everyone gets in. Some people, VIP access. Others, sorry, go home. In cloud terms, an NSG is a set of rules that decides who's allowed inbound, that is coming into your virtual machine, who is allowed outbound, that is leaving your virtual machine. It checks things like which ports you're knocking on, like the RDP for remote desktop or HTTP for websites. Where you're coming from, either you're coming from the whole internet or just your office. Whether your request is friendly or suspicious. And just like a smart bouncer, NSGs don't forget the rules. Once you set them, then enforce them every single time. Without NSGs, your virtual machines will be like a house with all the doors and windows wide open. Sure, your friends can't come in, but so can burglars, raccoons, and probably your nosy neighbor. With NSGs, you can say things like, only allow RDP traffic from our office building, only let web users through per 80 or 443, block anything that looks shady. Now that's Cloud Security 101. Because in the cloud, trust me, you don't want everyone knocking on your server's door. Now let's put this into a real situation. Say your company just migrated its apps and databases to Azure Virtual Machines. The IT team, that's you, wants employees to be able to log in remotely using RDP, but only from the company's office IP address or through the VPN. Now here's the problem. If you don't configure your NSG properly, either nobody gets in, you panic, or everybody gets in, including hackers sipping coffee halfway across the world. So, if you were in that situation, this is exactly what you should do. Let me share my screen and walk you through step by step creating an NSG, setting inbound rules for RDP, associating it with the right VM or subnet, and testing the connection so you see it all in action. Alright, so first things first, we are going to create the resource group. So resource group is like a folder where you store related files, and it's very important because you need the resource group when you want to create your virtual machine or your network security group, like we're about to do that. So we're proceeding to creating a resource group. That doesn't usually take so much time to create. And come over here to create a resource group. So I'm going to give it a name of NSG. Okay, NSG resource. So I mean, you can call it whatever you want to call it. Then come over here, then you review, and then you create. Nice and easy. Create. So now that our resource group has been created, we're going to proceed to creating our network security group. To do that, and just type here. Okay, so we have it here already. Network security group. All right, so we are going to create one here. Create. Okay, this is loading. Okay, so select a security. Select our resource group here. The one we just created, NSG resource. We're going to give this. Okay, let's not use an Azure user. Let's give this. Okay, let's do NSG. NSG. Okay, so while that's done very fine, we proceed to tags. So for the tags, we don't need anything. Then we proceed to review and create. All right, it's running a final validation. Okay, so come here and create. So this is actually taking longer than I expect. If you come to the notification, okay, we can see that deployment has been succeeded. So we're going to navigate to virtual networks. Come over here. We're going to create the virtual network because the network security group is actually empty. I mean, you saw how we created it. The only thing we attached to it is the name. So we are going to create a virtual network inside of the network security group. So to do that, you just come here, create, and then we wait a bit. So we're creating a virtual network, and we are going to change this resource group to the resource group that we created. Virtual network name would give it, let's say, NSG VM. Okay, so proceed to security. We don't need Bastion, firewall, and DDoS for this particular hands-on. Proceed to IP addresses. So I'm going to leave this as default and proceed to changing this subnet name to something that is recognizable. So we'll click on the edit button and then change this to, let's say, NSG subnets. All right. So while that is set, we can now, okay, we can now proceed to saving this. So after that is saved, as you can see, we can now proceed to review and create. So we're waiting for the final validation to run. All right, our deployment has been completed. So now that that is done, you can proceed to creating our virtual machine. And to do that, you can just come here to virtual machines and create virtual machine. All right, so for the resource group, we'll stick with the NSG resource, just as we have when we're creating the virtual network. For the virtual machine name, let's do NSG VM. All right, so I want to change this to Windows Server. I know that I'm going to get an error here, but I want to use the Windows instead of the Linux, so I'm using the Windows. So okay, um username, let's do beta NSG. Let's give this a password of, okay, so okay, so while that is done, okay, just checking again to see. All right, so can I proceed to Dix and proceed to networking? All right, so this is where we make some edits. Okay, so the virtual network, this was one we created. The public IP, none. Yeah, because we don't need one. So the subnets, this was what we gave it. Okay, remember? Click on advanced. NSG. So we click on advanced and then we select the security group name. Remember that this is the name that we gave it when we were creating the security group. So that is done. We can now proceed to management. I don't think there's anything else that we might need. Okay. Proceed to monitoring. Can disable both diagnostics. Okay. So proceed to advance. All right. Okay, I don't think we need to do anything here. Then proceed to review and create. So we are patiently waiting for our validation to be approved. All right, so we pass validation. We can proceed to creating the virtual machine. All right, so our deployment has been succeeded. So if we go to the network, um, okay, this the NSG. So we want to check for our inbound rule and outbound rule. So this by default cannot be changed. Okay, so to proceed to testing our virtual machine, let's see if virtual machines. Let's see if so. We're going to proceed to connecting our virtual machine. The one we just created was this one. All right, so we are going to connect our virtual machine. Connect. All right, so we're going to download the RDP file and then we'll try to connect. Connect. As you can see, we got an error message. So one of the reasons we got the error message, or the reason actually that we got the error message, was because we did not give RD permissions in the rules. So we're going to go back here to our network security group. So we're going to try to add RDP to the inbound rule. And to do that, we'll come over to settings, click on inbound security rules, and we'll click on add. Sources. I think sources, we're leaving sources. Port ranges is okay, yeah. RDP and allow permissions, okay, and add. Okay, so we've created the security role. And when we come over here back to our virtual machine and try to connect again, let us see if we'll be able to download the RDP. Connect. Let's see if we can download the RDP file. Download. Oh, it's downloaded already. Connect. All right, we got another error message. and that's because we only added it to our inbound row. We didn't add it in our outbound row. So we'll go back to NSGs again, and we are going to add our RDP to our outbound row. And to do that, we just come over here, and we click on add service RDP. Action is allowed. I mean, the name is okay. I don't need a description, but if you want to, you can add it. I come over here to add. All right, so created security role. So we'll come here to refresh. We'll come back to the inbound role to refresh. I mean, just to, to double check on everything. So the reason why we have this um, triangle here is because you're going to see it right down here. It's just exposed to the internet. This is only recommended for testing. For production environment, we recommend using a VPN or private connection. But like it said, but since we're testing, we're good. So we'll come back to our virtual machines. Home virtual machine. All right, and let's try to connect again. All right, so download our RDP file. Let's try to open this. Connect. Oh wow, why am I having this error? I've given both rows. Let's go back to refresh. Okay, let's refresh this. Okay, and try to download this again. Oh my god. Okay, so for one of this reason, the remote computer is turned off. Okay. Oof, so I'm wondering why we are having access errors. When we come over to the VM or NSG, okay. I mean, we've allowed RDP in the inbound and allow RDP in the outbound. Let's come and give it a refresh. I mean, I don't know what's going on, but we are figuring it out together, right? Let's just do a double refresh just to be sure, because this is allowed. So I don't know why the virtual network isn't permitting us. So back to home, back to a virtual machine. Connect. Okay, so download. Connect. All right, so we're going to create a virtual machine, and we come over here and create a virtual machine. Okay, so for the resource group, we'll go with the NSG resource. The virtual machine, we can give it NSG VM. Okay, for the region, that's fine. Availability, this is great. Standard, let's do standard. Okay, so for the image, the Windows is fine. Okay, VM structure looking good. Okay, everything else looking good. Um, let's give this username Azure admin, and give this password, you know, okay. All right, so come over here to confirm. All right. So, yeah, our public inbound port allow selected port. Okay. This is looking good. So we move over to disk. For the disk size, let's just stick with the default. Okay. Move over to networking. All right. So the virtual network, this was what we gave it. Okay. Yeah. The virtual network, that's it. Subnet, mean, leave it as that. For the public IP, so for the public IP, we're going to do none. All right, our deployment has been succeeded. So we can go to resource, okay, and we'll try to connect this. All right. So download our RDP file, try to connect. Okay, so a password is okay. Yes. As you can see, our virtual machine is setting up. And that's how Azure NSGs turn your cloud environment from open party into a VIP only lounge. If this explanation made you smile or made the cloud feel a little less scarier, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because we've got more stories coming that makes the cloud make sense.